so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for
The Winnipeg Jets and New York Rangers just about set to go on this New Year's Eve game at the Winnipeg Arena. The second time they have met this season. On November 27th, the Jets won 3-2. Bill McCreary is the referee with Mike Zivic and Dan McCourt working the lines. John Vanbiesbrouck makes his 19th start against the Winnipeg Jets. He has a 7-9-2 record and a goals against of 2.17 against Winnipeg. Bob Essenza returns to the lineup for Winnipeg. He has played just 2 periods since pulling a hamstring on December 8th against Washington.
You see, Bob Essenza's 11 wins. That's twice as many as both the backup goaltenders have. And the Jets are a different team with Bob Essenza in net.
Essenza leaves it back of the goal for Randy Carlyle, playing in his 997th career game today. Carlyle could play his 1,000th next Monday at Madison Square Garden in New York. Lead pass intended for Shannon, broken up. Carlyle picks it up, fires it in, steered to the corner by Vanbiesbrouck. Graves pushes it ahead to Messier. He and Amonte cross. Amonte drives for the net. Pass over to Graves. He couldn't get a shot away as he was checked by Olchek. Graves out front to Amonte. Saved by Essenza. Amonte gets it again. Into the slot for Graves. His shot. Essenza deflects that one over the glass and out of play.
Bob Essenza getting a feel early in this game as the Messier line. Good forechecking, creating some turnovers and getting some chances. New York Rangers defense bearings. You notice that Norman Rochefort is not part of the defense. And the forwards for the New York Rangers, the big line, the Messier line. Darren Turcotte's been hot of late, and he's a streak scorer, so you have to watch Turcotte. Jeff Bukaboom suspended. He's got 2 more games to serve, and Obviously, Roger Nielsen doesn't think the Jets are very physical. He has Rochefort and Domi both scratched tonight.
Teppo Numminen plays it along the boards. Nemchinov keeps it in. Takes a hit from Numminen. Mario Marois lobs it out to center ice, picked up by Osborne, coming in against Patrick. Osborne tried to throw it in front. Patrick stopped it, gets it to the line. Numminen can't keep it in. It's picked up by Nemchinov. Nemchinov getting into the slot, lets the shot go just wide. Osborne in the corner takes a hit from Nemchinov. Now Marois comes in to help out. He banks it off the boards. Barnes deflects it to center. Picked up by MacDermid. MacDermid takes a hit there from Hardy, and Hardy is hurt. Hardy went down heavily, and he is hurt.
You can see immediately he favored that right shoulder when he was pushed down by Paul MacDermid, and you can see the expression on Mark Hardy's face. He didn't budge.
He took MacDermid in against the boards, and then MacDermid came down, it seemed, on top of Hardy.
Now watch him try and hit Paul MacDermid, and when he falls, right there, his right arm and shoulder has all the pressure of both bodies on it, and Mark Hardy didn't get up. Here's another look. Now watch his right arm. He goes to brace his fall right there. And the shoulder, you can see him react. Mark Hardy is in trouble here.
Initially a draft pick of the Los Angeles Kings back in 1979. He went to New York, then to Minnesota, back to New York, and he has been one of their leading plus-minus players throughout most of the season. Although in the previous visit by Roger Nielsen's team to the Winnipeg Arena on November 27th, Mark Hardy, for one of the few times this year, was a minus during the course of the hockey game.
Here we look at it again. Now watch Paul MacDermid. His feet kick out Mark Hardy's feet, and Hardy falls awkwardly on that right shoulder. Mark Hardy was a good offensive player when he was with the LA Kings, but he's changed his style as his legs have gone a little bit. He's more of a defensive defenseman now. He's being helped to the dressing room by trainer Dave Smith of the Rangers.
And obviously favoring the right shoulder and arm. 18:30 the time remaining in the opening period here at the Winnipeg Arena. The Rangers with the scoring opportunities so far in the hockey game, 2 of them, and a fine save early in the game by Bob Essenza on Tony Amonte. John Paddock, the coach of the Winnipeg Jets in his rookie season, the first native Manitoban to ever stand behind the bench of the Jets. He's from Oak River, 37 years of age.
He's done a great job with the Jets. You consider their injuries. Thomas Steen's missed an awful lot of games. Troy Murray's been in and out of the lineup.
Pat Elnick has it, fires it just wide. Olausson at the other point trying to keep it in. He succeeds. Doug Evans back of the net. Evans looking out front, and fanning on the shot was Borsato as it slides all the way down the ice. Olausson for Cronin. He's back in the lineup after missing 3 games as the result of an injury. Cronin trying to move out from behind the net along the boards for Elnick. Cronin ran into Ogrodnick and knocked him down, resulting in a response. Here's a shot by Gartner, fired wide. The rebound off the end boards. He couldn't pick it up. Elnick trying to get it out of the zone, and it slides to center ice. Wait. Pushes it in across the jet line. Picked up there by Olausson. Olausson banks it off the boards. Taken by Eagles, but it's a 2-line pass. 17:30 remaining in a still scoreless opening period.
For the Winnipeg Jets, the defense, Sean Cronin back in the lineup. I think the Jets felt they were pushed around by the Boston Bruins in their last game. And up front, the big absence is Thomas Steen, still out with that ankle injury, although he did skate in the warm-up, and it looks like he should be back soon. Ericsson's out for the year. Dean Kennedy's gone for the year. Rudy Poshek's been in a couple of the last games. His physical presence not needed without Ty Domi and Norman Rochefort in for the Rangers.
Carlisle hits the center line and drives it deep into Ranger territory. Cole along the boards tried to free it for Eagles. It went to the other corner. The Jets trying to play a more physical game than they have exhibited in the last few. Cole runs into Moller, but the loose puck is picked up by Turcotte. In across the line. Turcotte with a shot. Save. Big rebound. It slides towards the net. And Broten couldn't get a shot away, and there's also going to be a penalty against the Winnipeg Jets. It looks like Danton Cole will be going off, providing the Rangers with the game's first power play.
Danton Cole takes a hooking penalty as the Rangers are doing the forechecking and the Jets are having to react. Here's Danton Cole on Paul Broten. Look at, he tries to kick out Broten's feet, but he has a stick wrapped around him, and Bill McCreary calls a hooking penalty.
From the face-off, Marois fires it down the ice. Leetch is out on the point along with James Patrick. An incredible statistic for Brian Leetch. He has been on the ice for all of the Ranger power play goals this season.
It is an amazing statistic. You feel that he does play 2 minutes every power play, but the fact you'd think he'd be in the penalty box for a few power play goals too.
Back to the point to Leetch. He goes cross ice to Messier. It bounces away from him. Comes back now to Patrick. Over to Leetch. Leetch was looking for Messier. Intercepted by Murray, and he flips it down the ice.
The Rangers miss Bernie Nichols. Nichols was their trigger man, a right-handed shot that played the far side. Now they try and feed Messier on the other side.
Amonte working in deep. He goes back to the net. Ogrodnick to the point. Djoos with a shot through traffic, steered wide. Olausson picks it up, tried to get it out, kept in by Leetch. Leetch moving in, almost had it stolen away by Evans, tried to get it back to the point, but Djoos was not in position. Djoos dumps it into the Winnipeg zone. 38 seconds remaining in the penalty as the Jets clear it to center. 15:28 left in the period. Danton Cole with 26 seconds remaining in his penalty. Here comes Leetch splitting the defense. He fires it wide. Cronin back of the net. He flips it out. Racing after it is Shannon. Djoos trying to cut him off. Shannon going for the net. Saved by Vanbiesbrouck.
Good play by Shannon just to get the shot away, but Vanbiesbrouck came out, cut down the angle, and Shannon really had no play as Djoos had the angle too.
At center ice as Cole comes out of the box. The puck kicked back to Djoos. He plays it ahead to Gartner. Gartner forced back by Murray. 14:44 remaining in this opening period. It's still scoreless here at the Winnipeg Arena. In their previous meeting, the Rangers jumped into a 2-0 lead. The Jets fought back, and they won it on a third-period goal by Troy Murray. Ahead to Borsato. Borsato leaves it for Olczyk. His quick shot steered to the corner. Elynuik plays it back of the net for Olczyk. He flipped it to the point. Newman pinches in. Borsato has it. Borsato working along the boards, having problems controlling it. Back of the net for Olczyk. Olczyk left it there for Elynuik. He overskated. Comes to the line, kept in by Elynuik. His long shot redirected, and Vanbiesbrouck makes the save, and there's a penalty coming up to the New York Rangers. Moller will be heading to the penalty box with 13:58 left in the opening period.
Randy Moller takes a high sticking penalty on Ed Olczyk. Short-handed, the Jets had a good scoring chance. Now watch Shannon fight off the check. Djoos has the angle on Shannon, forces him, but look at Shannon, shows some strength to get the shot away. At the other end, watch Leetch, the quick steps right there on Cronin, and then to split the defense, but he fires it wide. Bob Essen's out well to cut down the angle. Leetch just shot it wide.
So the Winnipeg Jets send their power play unit out. They are ranked number 7 in the NHL with the man advantage. Barnes plays it back to the line to Olausson, takes the return pass, winds up, lets it go. Vanbiesbrouck steers it back of the net. Barnes has it again. Back to the point to Olausson. Olausson lets the shot go, redirected in front of the net. MacDermid got a stick on it, but it went wide of the goal. Olausson trying to skate away from Messier. To Barnes. Barnes dumps it back to the net. Vanbiesbrouck will play it. It comes to Messier. He can't get out against Housley. Kept in. Barnes back of the goal. To the point now to Olausson. Olausson gives it back to Barnes. Barnes with a shot off Patrick. Vanbiesbrouck plays it in the corner. Picked up by Barnes. Barnes being bothered there by Patrick. Manages to keep it in the zone. Now Cirella will try and get it out. And it bounces past Olausson and down the ice.
The Jets with some good pressure, but they couldn't get their tip-ins through to John Vanbiesbrouck.
A whistle on the play, and it appears as though a penalty is being assessed against the Winnipeg Jets. It looked as though Cirella may have been hit with a stick. And Paul MacDermid is heading to the penalty box.
They went over and checked Cirella to see if there was any blood. Here's MacDermid watching him get the stick right under Cirella's chin. And that warrants a high sticking penalty, but only 2 minutes. We talked about the physical presence in front of the New York Rangers net. And you see the Jets, MacDermid is able to stand there, and Cirella with the little push, but not very good, clearing out the front of the net. Osborne was there too, but the Jets just couldn't get the shots through.
So MacDermid goes off for high sticking at 7:07, 55 seconds remaining in the penalty to Randy Moller. And then the Rangers will have a power play. The first sellout of the season at the Winnipeg Arena. Pass too far for Gartner. Nemchinov at center ice is checked by Olczyk. He goes rink wide to Mario Marois. To Numanen, to Olczyk. Olczyk trying to work through. Vanbiesbrouck came out to stop. Marois gets it. His shot goes wide. Leetch takes it behind his own net. In 24 seconds, the Rangers will have a power play. Leetch, a lead pass for Nemchinov. Back to Leetch. To Nemchinov. 12:08 remaining in the period. Here comes Gartner. Gartner working against Numanen. Plays it back to the net. Picked up there by Marois. He can't get out. The Rangers are at full strength. In the corner. Marois trying to tie it up. Elynuik comes in as well. He gets it free. Numanen flips it along the boards. Messier keeps it in. Leetch has it in the corner. Back to Messier. Messier rink wide for Nemchinov. He fired it wide. Leetch looking for Nemchinov. It deflects to the line. Djoos keeps it in for Nemchinov. Back to Djoos. Over to Leetch, and Leetch is checked by Shannon as it bounces to center with 30 seconds left in the penalty.
There's an example of Jets right on Brian Leetch. When the pass came, Shannon was there and intercepted.
Shannon along the boards, gains control and flips it out. Djoos with a rink-wide pass, broken up by Housley. And the penalty coming up against the New York Rangers with 12 seconds left in the penalty to MacDermid. 11:05 remaining in the first period. It's still scoreless here at the Winnipeg Arena.
Roger Nielsen doesn't like the call, but Mike Gartner didn't get off the ice, and the Rangers ended up with too many men on the ice as John Ogrodnick jumped on. And John Ogrodnick gets to sit out the penalty.
So in 12 seconds, the Winnipeg Jets will have a power play. Special teams are such an important part of each National Hockey League team's attack or defense in the case of the penalty killing unit. Turcotte dodges a check from MacDermid, who stepped out of the penalty box as Turcotte was working his way down into Winnipeg territory. The Jets now on the power play. Olausson starting away for Winnipeg. He is second in goals in the Winnipeg organization with 12. Only Eddie Olczyk has scored more. Paul Broten spots an opening and fires the puck the length of the ice.
The Rangers had Joe Cirella out trying to kill this penalty, and he, without Norman Rochefort in the lineup and Jeff Bukaboom, is probably the most physical of the Ranger defense.
Troy Murray, the captain, back to the line. Olausson across to Housley, back to Olausson. Housley to Olczyk. Olczyk shoots, and it's deflected to the corner. Murray and Patrick battled along the boards. Turcotte helps out. He frees it. Olausson at center ice gives it to Housley. To Doug Evans. Evans back to Housley. He flips it to the corner. Evans races after it. He's tied up by Patrick, and it's knocked out of the zone. Here comes Housley with 38 seconds left in the penalty. Dump to the corner. Cirella back after it. He whips it around the boards. Housley, a long shot, redirected wide in front of the net by Borsato. Back to the point to Olausson. His shot deflects off a skate. Behind the goal, Borsato for Olczyk. 17 seconds left in the penalty. Olczyk back of the net. Borsato tried to return it to him. Borsato, a backhand shot. He puts it up high off the glass. It's dumped out to center to Nemchinov with just 4 seconds left in the penalty.
Again, the Jets with some chances, but they can't get the shots through on John Vanbiesbrouck. They had a couple of tip-in tries and just tipped them wide.
Here's a chance for Elynuik. He's taken in against the boards by Leetch. The puck goes loose, back of the Ranger goal. Messier out to center to Leetch. Leetch leading the attack on the right side to Graves. A quick shot, the rebound, steered to the corner by Nemchinov. Banked off the boards for Osborne. He starts away with Elynuik and Barnes. Barnes takes the pass, gives it to Osborne. Elynuik was spun around, a good check just as he hit the blue line, and his stick went flying in the process. Now Elynuik tries to get back into the play along the boards. He frees it. Knocked down by Djoos to Messier to Amonte. Amonte moving into the slot. Leaves it there for Graves. Graves trying to get a shot away is checked. Barnes can't move out with it. Kept in by Patrick. Cole along the boards battling with Amonte. And Nemchinov comes up with it. Gets it ahead to Osborne to Cole. He flips it into New York territory. Cirella goes back after it with 8 minutes remaining. No score in the opening period at the Winnipeg Arena. The 40th game of the season for the Jets. They are 9 points better than they were at the same time a year ago. Eagles with a shot. Vanbiesbrouck the save. Cole the rebound. It comes out front. Hartman couldn't get a shot away. Ogrodnick stopped at the line. Eagles plays it off the boards for Hartman. He couldn't control it. Eagles ran into Patrick as it was fired into Winnipeg territory. Carlisle is looking for Hartman, too far for him, and Moller chases it down in his own zone. Lead pass broken up at center ice. Gartner tried to break in. He couldn't control it. The Jets flip it ahead to Olczyk. Olczyk with Murray, a long shot that's gloved by Vanbiesbrouck, and he shoots it down the ice. 6:57 left in the opening period. 8-4, the shots on goal favoring the Winnipeg Jets. But so far, neither John Vanbiesbrouck or Bob Essensa has allowed a puck to get past him. Fired wide by Gartner. Leetch at the point. Lets a shot go, knocked down in front. Gartner back to the point to Moller, and Moller tried to shoot it to the corner, but it deflected over the glass and out of play with 6:33 left in the opening period.
Look at the goalies, and the Winnipeg Jets in front of Bob Essensa looked like a more confident team, and that's probably not just for the two backups because the Jets have not played that well in the last 10 games. But the goalies always get blamed, Don, you know that.
But do teams play more confidently in front of some goalies? Here's Cirella with a shot, and it's caught and held by Bob Essensa. So we'll have another face-off in the Winnipeg zone. Face-off to the right of Essensa. Cirella from the point is checked by Barnes. He can't get it out. Long shot in front of the net. They score! Former Winnipeg Jet Randy Gilhen gets his first as a New York Ranger as he was in front of the net. And the rebound came off the pads of Bob Essensa. And in only his second game as a New York Ranger, Gilhen scores.
Stu Barnes loses the draw to Nemchinov, but watch the Winnipeg Jets in front of the net. Randy Gilhen does a good job, goes to the net, but the Jets don't take him out. Look at it, he's got lots of room and then pulls it by Bob Essensa. Nice quick hands by Randy Gilhen, not known as a goal scorer, but look at how wide open he is. He has all sorts of time to pull it by Essensa. No chance for the Winnipeg goalie.
Now the New York Rangers have scored the first goal in 17 of 20 games now. Here they get another chance, and the pass across is blocked by Nemchinov. Rink wide for Evans. He couldn't control it. Djoos fires it back in, wide of the Winnipeg net. Marois takes a hit. The puck goes loose along the boards. Kept in at the point by Turcotte. Now it's knocked out, fired right back in, and Carlisle gets control to Evans. Evans flips it rink wide. King is there for New York. Stolen by Borsato. He shoots it in. Borsato was knocked down at center ice by King after firing that puck into Ranger territory. Puck stolen now by Turcotte. Long shot. Pad saved by Essenza. Carlisle to Olczyk. Olczyk flips it across ice to Shannon. Shannon shoots it into New York territory. Vanbiesbrouck plays it off the glass. It bounces by Housley. Here's a chance for King. Going for the net is Broten. The King shot off the shoulder of Essenza. Broten trying to throw it out front, intercepted by Shannon. 5 minutes remaining in the opening period. 1-0. The New York Rangers lead the Jets. Troy Murray along the boards. Checked by Messier. The puck comes loose and is flipped out of the zone.
The Jets should keep making John Vanbiesbrouck handle the puck because you know eventually he'll give it away.
Troy Murray taken out of the play by Leetch. Broten loses it to Olczyk. Olczyk back to the point. Cronin shot. He was checked by Messier. Messier loses it. Olczyk lets the shot go. Vanbiesbrouck loves it, with the Rangers guilty of a couple of careless giveaways in their own zone.
Some good forechecking by the Jets. They clog up the middle, and Ed Olczyk lets the shot go. But look at Vanbiesbrouck. Stays on his feet, and when he's playing well, he's not on his knees. And when he's not playing well, he's always on his knees.
Well, for a while, John, you were the goaltending consultant for the New York Rangers. Hartman spins around, the save by Vanbiesbrouck. Loose puck. Doug Evans takes it to the corner. Leaves it there for Cole. He's tied up by Messier. Hartman bumps with Patrick. Hartman trying to get it loose. Leaves it for Eagles. Eagles and Cole behind the net. Cirella is there. So is Messier. And finally the Rangers start away. Patrick to Messier. Too far on the left side for Graves. Marois takes him in against the boards. Amonte is tied up by Hartman. And Hartman starts back for Winnipeg. Turns and decides to leave it there for Marois. Lead pass too far for Eagles. Patrick in his own zone. 13:40 the time of the goal by Gilhen, with Cirella drawing the assist. Phil Housley for Winnipeg with a good head of steam as he hits the line, drives it in deep. Vanbiesbrouck plays it around on the glass, and the Rangers start back. Led by Waite, it's offside with Ogrodnick ahead of the play. 3:12 remaining in period one. The Rangers in front by 1. As always, Don Cherry will be around with Coach's Corner in the first intermission. And we'll also hear from the leading scorer with the New York Rangers, defenseman Brian Leetch. Talking about leading scorers, Doug Waite was the leading scorer at the World Junior Tournament a year ago in Saskatoon with the U.S. team. He's sporting shiners under both eyes. One, the result of a puck, and the other as the result of an altercation the other night with Laurie Boschman of the New Jersey Devils.
I think Doug Waite should look to Ty Domi and say, okay, that's your job, not mine.
Moller drives it in. MacDermid knocks it out. Leetch plays it across to Randy Moller. Mark Hardy injured in the opening minutes of the hockey game, and the word is that he has a suspected separated shoulder. Moller goes back after it. Played up and out by Vanbiesbrouck. Now Leetch following up in the play, working his way in. A weak shot as he was checked by MacDermid and Housley. And that was kicked to the corner by Bob Essenza. Housley has lost his stick, flips it up along the boards. MacDermid tied up. Puck comes out front to Waite. Looking for someone, trying to get away from Carlisle. Circles in the corner. Waite still controlling, spins around and fires a shot wide. Moller flipped it back of the net, intended for Ogrodnick. It bounced away from him, and Barnes banks it off the boards and out.
Jets were in big trouble because Phil Housley was playing without a stick, and there was good pressure by the New York Rangers.
Olausson loses it. Out front for Nemchinov, and his shot is blocked and covered up by goaltender Bob Essenza. With Essenza in the nets, the Winnipeg Jets had a record of 13-7-5. Without him, they are 3-8-3, including just one win in their last 10 starts.
If there was any complaint about the other goaltenders, it just was their consistency. They play well at times and then let in a bad goal. Here's Brian Leetch again. Look at the rush. Phil Housley's back, but Brian Leetch still jumps right through and has a chance on Bob Essenza.
Cronin takes it behind his own net. For Evans, he's checked. Cronin gets it again. He fans on it. Now Evans. Along the boards for Elynuik. He can't get it out. Good forechecking by the Rangers, and the Jets are having all sorts of difficulties in their own zone. Now Elynuik starts away. He plays it in off the glass. Vanbiesbrouck tries to whip it back out. Kept in by Olausson. A long shot. Redirected by Evans. It goes high. Evans back of the net for Borsato. A wraparound. Puck is loose in the crease. And as Elynuik took a swipe at it, Vanbiesbrouck covers up. And we have Gilhen having an exchange with Borsato after that wraparound attempt with just 1:12 remaining in the period.
Good save by John Vanbiesbrouck as he gave the puck away to the point. The Jets kept it in and had a wraparound attempt, but Vanbiesbrouck took away the bottom of the net and made the save. Watch the New York Rangers defensive coverage. They take a man. There's a pair of Djoos hitting his man. Here's the wraparound attempt. In comes Randy Gilhen. He has his man. Cirella takes his man. Good defensive coverage by the Rangers.
One goal so far in the hockey game by Randy Gilhen at 13:40. An assist has been added to Sergei Nemchinov in addition to the previous assist given Cirella. I mentioned that you were the goaltending consultant previously with the New York Rangers in another life. John,
and they were a lot better too.
Now you made a comment earlier that Vanbiesbrouck will give the puck away.
He will. He thinks he's one of the best puck handlers in the league, and he's pretty good, except he tries to throw it up the middle all the time. He was almost burned earlier.
Did he learn his puck handling from you?
No, not at all.
Turcotte at center ice. Loses it. Numminen forced back by Broten. Along the boards for Olczyk. Olczyk. Rink-wide pass. Murray overskated it. Turcotte for the Rangers. Loses it at center ice. In turn, the Jets can't go anywhere, and it's dumped into Winnipeg territory. Numminen back for the Jets. His clearing attempt blocked by Broten. Broten leaves it there for Patrick. In the corner for Turcotte. Turcotte trying to free it. Broten tied up by Numminen. Along the boards, finally picked up by Shannon. He starts out, four of them, to Marois. Marois banks it off the boards, intercepted by Leetch. He turns it the other way, but Broten could not handle the pass. Leetch tries again. Leetch working around Housley with a shot up high on Bob Essenza. Housley picks up the puck off the boards for Shannon. He moves it ahead to MacDermid. He couldn't get away from Randy Moller. Eagles flips it to the line. Leetch has it again, just as the horn sounds to end the opening period here at the Winnipeg Arena. So the score with the New York Rangers heading to the dressing room is 1-0, and at our first intermission we'll hear from Don Cherry on Coach's Corner. Randy Gilhen, the lone goal scorer. It's the Rangers 1, the Winnipeg Jets 0 after 20 minutes.
After 20 minutes here at the Winnipeg Arena, the Rangers lead the Jets on a goal by former Jet Randy Gilhen, the only goal of the opening period. In just a few seasons, the Rangers' Brian Leetch has developed into one of the NHL's premier defensemen and hopes to be paid accordingly so in due course. That's a topic we'll touch on in a moment, as soon as we get your thoughts on the opening period.
I thought it was a good period for both teams. We're coming off a couple losses, and the Jets have been struggling themselves, so it's a good skating period with chances both ways. The goalies played well.
You're probably closer to Mark Messier than most of the other Rangers because you're the only two players who live in New York, I understand. You room with him on the road. I'm also told that he told you a couple of weeks ago to become more involved in the play, to move up into offense more consistently. It would appear by your point totals that you took his advice to heart.
Yeah, well, a lot of players like myself, Phil Housley, offensive defenseman, get criticized a lot for our defensive play, but that's kind of our strong point. And you know, I kind of get worried sometimes when things aren't going well. I stand around on my own end and just try and concentrate on defense, and that's not where I'm effective. He told me just to be aggressive, step up whenever I can and get up there, and he said you play better defense when you're up ice because you get back sooner and you're into the play. So that's the main thing. I've just been trying to be more aggressive.
What's the state of your contract negotiations? Do you expect to sign a deal this season?
I would hope it would get done this season. Neil Smith's had, you know, Mike Richter at training camp to get done without a contract. He just finished a big one with Mark Messier, and I think he's working pretty hard with Mike Gartner right now, and they want me to be here. I want to be here too, and you know, it's business, so we'll see what happens.
Let's get to the journalistic part of the interview. Should you sign a deal that generates as many headlines as Mark Messier's did, will you get to meet Madonna?
Well, if Mark gets to meet her, maybe I'll get a chance, but you know, the salaries are going up, and I hope to be a part of that.
All right, Brian, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
After 20 minutes here at the Winnipeg Arena, Brian Leetch's New York Rangers lead the Jets 1-0.
Ford of Canada presents a celebration of hockey history. Tonight, the ultimate combination of raw power, skill, speed, and tenacity as we salute hockey's Raging Bull.
This portion of Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC was brought to you by Ford of Canada. At Ford, quality is job one.
We remind you the second half of our New Year's Eve doubleheader has the Canadiens in Calgary to play the Flames. Canadiens, the NHL's top team overall. The Flames below 500, where they've not been often in their recent history, but only 5 points out of second place in the Smythe division. Just one game, aside from this one at the Winnipeg Arena, underway on New Year's Eve. The Pittsburgh Penguins score goals in bunches. They're at home to New Jersey. They've got one goal from Kevin Stevens, but Valerie Zelapukin and Scott Stevens have given New Jersey a 2-1 lead. That game began about a half an hour ago. Elsewhere, Boston, coming off a win over the Jets, is in Detroit. St. Louis Blues are in Buffalo to play the Sabres. The Blackhawks will be trying to rise above 500, and the Stars trying to reach that level as Chicago plays in Minnesota. The Stars have won 4 of their last 5, and Coach Tom Webster returns from a 12-game suspension as his Los Angeles Kings host the division-leading Canucks. Here in Winnipeg, we've completed 20 minutes, and we're set now for the next 20, so let's rejoin Don and John.
Face-offs in your own zone are so important. The Jets lost the draw and then failed to cover up in front of their own net. And look at Randy Gilhen. He's all by himself, has time to pull it by Bob Essenson.
Randy Gilhen acquired by the Rangers in a trade with Los Angeles for Corey Millen. Only the second game for Gilhen. He made his Ranger debut against Pittsburgh in a loss the other night. Cirella and Nemchinov drawing the assists on the goal at 13:40. The Rangers had a 13-12 edge in shots on goal during the opening 20 minutes.
Randy Gilhen was playing center for the LA Kings, taking key faceoffs, and for the Rangers, he's a winger.
A bit of a delay as referee Bill McCreary talks to Darren Turcotte, and the reason for the delay is the New York trainer had not made his way across the ice to the Ranger bench. He had Messier with him. Now we're all set to go. Numminen flips it in. Going back after it is Leetch, who had a strong opening period. Borsato along the boards trying to keep it in. He falls, and it's put down the ice. Racing back after it is Numminen. He has Chris King in pursuit. King takes him in against the boards. They continue the battle in the corner. Referee Bill McCreary yelling at them to try and move it. They got it in their skates, trying to get it free, and finally it does come loose around to the other side. Randy Moller That pinched in. It's back of the net. Marois trying to get it out. Moller keeps it in. King tied up back of the goal. Numanen flips it up along the boards for Elynuik. He can't get out. A long shot by Leetch. That goes off a skate. Kept in at the line. Turcotte gets it across for King. He winds up saved by Essenza. Marois in front of his own net. Slides it across to Evans. He leaves it for Borsato. Borsato tried to get it over to Elynuik. It was broken up. Housley keeps it in at the point. Housley spins to get away from Turcotte. Housley across ice. Elynuik scores!
What a move by Phil Housley. They don't teach this one in hockey school. Just barely keeps it in. Now watch this move right here on Darren Turcotte. Well, not that way. And then a perfect pass to Pat Elynuik. I'm surprised Elynuik stopped it and still had time to beat John Vanbiesbrouck. Watch this move. Turcotte goes outside. Housley goes inside. And look at this pass right on the tape. And Elynuik up and over John Vanbiesbrouck.
So it's tied at 1. Graves fires it in. And this is an offside call against the Rangers. I don't think there's any skater in the National Hockey League who can turn in such a confined area as Phil Housley.
Phil Housley and Ray Bourque, their skating styles are similar. They never look tired. They can spin and turn and do it so effortlessly that it's no wonder that Bourque and Housley usually log about 40 minutes a game.
Housley drawing the assist along with Borsato on the goal by Pat Elynuik. And for Phil Housley, that is his 51st point of the season. He leads the Jets in scoring. The 9th goal of the year for Pat Elynuik. Shannon shoots it to the corner. Vanbiesbrouck plays it up along the boards and down the ice. And if Carlisle can get to it ahead of a Ranger, which he will do, it will be an icing call against New York. 18:10 remains in the period. We'll be right back after this message.
Look at John Paddock and Roger Nielsen on the other bench, two coaches that show very little emotion. It's hard to tell whether the Jets are ahead or behind or tied by looking at John Paddock's expression.
Djoos plays it on the right side. It's deflected down the ice. Ogrodnick racing after it. Olausson beat him to it. Gardner circling at center ice. Dodges a check. Gets a return pass. There's his shot steered to the corner by Essenza. Cole banks it off the boards. Eagles starts away for Winnipeg. He leaves it for Olausson. Olausson, a long shot, goes off a stick, and Gardner fires it out. Cronin for Hartman. 1-1 the score. Ed Olczyk's goal, 1:15 into the second, tying it after Randy Gilhen scored for New York at the 13:40 mark of the opening period. Leetch. Cross ice pass intended for Gardner, broken up by Numanen. Back comes Barnes. Barnes in across the line, fans in the shot. MacDermid got it. His shot was deflected up into the crowd.
Souvenir, a late Christmas present for a young fan here at the Winnipeg Arena. Look at John Ogrodnick's stick. Now you wonder how this guy could ever score any goals with that, but he's a consistent goal scorer, had 50 a couple of times. The blade is such that the puck goes up and dips and dives. Use it as a sand wedge once in a while, I'm sure.
I think we're going to have a competition for the worst looking stick in the National Hockey League. Ogrodnick's would be close to the top. Stu Barnes has a weapon that defies description at times. Coach John Paddock said that may be the ugliest stick in the NHL. Penalty coming up against the Winnipeg Jets with 16:58 remaining in the second period. The score is tied at 1 as the Rangers go to the power play. Well, we saw the stick being used by John Ogrodnick. That's the stick that Stu Barnes uses. It has a curve starting right at the heel, and he used it to draw a penalty here, a high sticking call against Barnes. It looks more like a shooter's weapon than a playmaker's stick.
That's true, and you wonder how you'd ever even think of trying to throw a backhand pass with a stick that looks like that.
Winnipeg Jets, number 2 overall in the NHL in penalty killing. Their penalty killing unit is number 1 on the road. Gartner takes a hit in the corner from Housley. Carlisle gets control, flips it around the boards, and Shannon knocks Patrick down as it comes out to center ice, over to Murray. Murray flips it across to Housley. He was in too deep. The idea was there, but Housley was in too deep.
Murray had to throw a high pass and it bounced, and Housley couldn't knock it out of the air.
Nemchinov leaves it for Leetch. Leetch moving in. His shot steered wide, back of the net. Nemchinov tried to get it out front. It was blocked. Back come the Jets, a 2-on-1. Here's Cole coming in with Murray. Cole over to Murray. He couldn't get a shot away as Leetch got back just in time. Twice short-handed the Winnipeg Jets on this penalty to Barnes have broken in on goaltender John Vanbiesbrouck. Here they come again. This time Housley banks it off the boards and down the ice.
He gets a good round of applause from the crowd here at the Winnipeg Arena. Brian Leetch showed his speed getting back on that 2-on-1 and picked off the pass.
Kept in at the line by Djoos. He winds up. That went off the side of the net. Amonte has his pass intercepted. Eagles gets control. He starts away with Shannon. Eagles dodges a check. He and Shannon in across the line. Messier got back, couldn't make the save. And the puck was picked up by Shannon, who got a shot away. Amonte, his check. The puck is knocked out. Now Cirella is stopped at the line. Marois gets it, and the Jets are back at full strength. Good penalty killing by Winnipeg. They had the scoring opportunities. Here's Borsato over to Evans. Evans tried to slide it across to Barnes, and it was redirected towards the net with Vanbiesbrouck covering up.
The Winnipeg Jets taking advantage of the New York Rangers power play and getting some good chances. The Rangers recovering. Now watch Mark Messier come into your picture and does a great job back checking. The Winnipeg Jets do get a shot, but not a dangerous one. And earlier, watch this. Troy Murray has to throw an aerial pass. And Phil Housley joining the rush right there, but see the puck bounce, and Housley can't pick it out of the air. And in between those two chances, here's the 2-on-1, and look at Brian Leetch. Uses his speed and mobility to turn around and pick off the pass.
Freddie Olausson keeps it in. It was offside, apparently. It's exciting watching players with such skating skill and offensive ability from the blue line, like a Phil Housley and a Brian Leetch.
They take so many chances and make such dangerous plays, and I'm sure they drive the coaches nuts, but that's part of a creative game. As we look at Freddie Olausson, who is another good skater, but has, in the last month or so, slumped a little bit. I thought he had a great start.
Olausson in the first 10 games was off to a great start. Now this combination, Housley and Olausson, 79 points. Leetch and James Patrick for the Rangers, 80 points. That's the type of production coaches like to see from their defensive pair.
You look at some of the teams that are having problems, like the Calgary Flames, and what has happened. Suter and McGinnis both down with injuries at one time or another, and they just don't have the production from the blue line.
Olausson gets it to Cronin, to Evans. Evans for Elynuik. Elynuik drops it back to Cronin, moving in. He shoots, saved by Vanbiesbrouck, and the Rangers start away. King picks up the puck. Three of them in across the line. Amonte back to King. Save, and the puck is taken into the corner. A 3-on-1. King got a good shot away, but Essenza made the save with 14:04 remaining in the period.
The Rangers gave up a good chance in their own end and then had a 3-on-1, but watch Doug Evans come back and turn it into a 3-on-2. And then Evans finishes his check on Chris King and gets a whistle. Another good save by Bob Essensa, and that's what he's done all year. At key times during the game, he's come up with a big save.
Well, as coaches often say, it isn't the number of saves you make, it's when you make them during the course of a game.
And a 1-1 tie with the Jets pressing. Rangers with a good scoring chance. Essensa came up with the stop.
Here's Leetch coming in against Housley. The shot, the save by Essensa. Housley plays it ahead to Mark Osborne. Osborne trying to go around Djoos. Housley picks it up. Housley getting set. A shot through traffic wide of the net. Randy Gilhen, who scored the Rangers goal in the first period, flips it high to the corner. Back after it goes Osborne. For MacDermid to Housley. Housley rinked wide off Olczyk, and James Patrick has it for the Rangers. Patrick ahead to Messier. And across the line for Patrick. Patrick on the backhand. That is deflected high by Teppo Numminen, who got back. Now here's a chance for Troy Murray. Working in against Cirella. Murray controlling it. Flips it out front. Nobody there. And the Rangers move it back. Here's a 2-on-1 led by Messier. Amonte going for the net. Shot! They score as Cirella put it in. The light did not come on. But Messier raised his stick after getting the shot. I didn't see the light come on, and it still hasn't come on. But referee McCreary ruled that it was a goal.
Now watch the Jets defense pinch and get caught right there. Teppo Numminen, and it's a 2-on-1. And look at this shot by Messier. Right off the middle bar. Hit the middle bar of the net, came right out. Here's another look. Now watch this shot.
First one, yeah, first one.
Right there, it's off the middle bar at the back of the net. And Joe Cirella came in just to make sure.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets were claiming that they didn't think it was a goal. Messier let a rocket go. The light did not come on. But the Rangers have the lead by a score of 2-1. Messier had raised his stick in celebration when the puck was picked up by Cirella, and he slipped it into an empty net, so it's a 2-1 game. Cirella shoots it in. Essensa leaves it there for Numminen. Up along the boards for Shannon. He frees it for Numminen. Kicked ahead to Cole to Murray. Murray lost control of it. Then he's spun around by Cirella. Cirella for Messier. Messier dodges a check. Gets away from Shannon. Now is checked by Marois. It goes back to Cirella. Troy Murray along the boards. Can't do anything with it. It's dumped down the ice, and Olausson goes back after it.
Mark Messier at the end of a long shift still stays out there, conserves his energy. He's so good defensively. Plus, we saw what he can do once he gets the puck.
Well, they're ruling that Messier didn't score the goal. Cirella is credited with the goal. So Messier's shot, according to the officials, did hit the post. Cirella from Messier and Graves. It comes back to the point. Olausson winds up. His shot deflects into the corner back of the net. Olczyk throws it out front. Gets it again. Olczyk gives it to Eagles. Eagles is checked, and Leetch starts away. He has Gartner with him. Tried to slip it through to Gartner. It was broken up. Hartman moves it ahead to Olczyk. Intercepted by Djoos. To Ogrodnick. Ogrodnick tried to throw it in front. Gets it again. Back to Wade. His shot steered to the corner. And Olczyk fires it out. Cirella from Messier and Graves. The goal for the New York Rangers, putting them ahead at 7:09. Borsato checks King for Olczyk. Back to Borsato. His backhand shot goes wide of the net. King flips it into the center ice area. And as it's fired back in by Carlisle, there's a whistle as the puck was knocked down with a high stick. 10:40 remains in the period.
Look at Bob Essenza. Mark Messier has one of the hardest wrist shots in the league. Now watch him snap it right here. It goes by Essenza. Hard to tell, but there it comes out. It's in. And Joe Cirella comes up. And watch, you can just see it slide into the empty net. Look at the Rangers are already celebrating. That's Joe Cirella's shot, and that's the one that they count. I guess the Rangers don't really care. It's still 2-1.
Well, Messier had gone behind the net. He was celebrating the goal, and it almost seemed as though the Jet players eased up on it. Cirella hadn't seen the light come on, so he made sure, and he had a wide open net for only his 3rd goal of the season. Elynuik knocks it in. Borsato over skates. Elynuik gets it again. 3 Jets along the boards. Freed for Borsato. Borsato working against Cirella. Throws it out front. Evans couldn't get to it. It's still loose in the Ranger zone, and finally it's skated out by Turcotte. Turcotte coming in against Housley. Housley rides him off to the corner. Carlisle leaves the puck behind the goal for Borsato. Kicked along the boards for Evans. He moves it ahead to Elynuik, over to Housley. Housley working against Patrick. Stopped at the line. Turcotte bangs it to center ice. The Jets on a change as King comes in. Fires it to the corner. Shannon loses it. Nilmanen overskates it in the corner. Has to try and come out the other way. 9:37 remaining in the second period. 2-1. New York leading Winnipeg. Shannon runs into Patrick, goes down, stolen by the Jets, and Olczyk and Vanbiesbrouck with a quick glove hand.
Good concentration by John Vanbiesbrouck as the Jets turned it over with good forechecking. Had the offensive chance, but Vanbiesbrouck was following the play all the way. Here's the giveaway. Dangerous play in your own zone, and there's Olczyk, just snaps it. He's trying to catch Vanbiesbrouck, but the goaltender's set, glove open and facing the shooter. Makes it look easy.
Ed Olczyk leads the Jets in goals with 19. He's second in total points with 43.
Rangers rotation, you never know what Roger Nielsen is trying to do. Sometimes he plays hunches, but lately he's been giving the goaltenders a chance. Play till you lose. And they've been alternating just about every 3rd game. They haven't really got on a hot streak.
Well, the Rangers have lost their last 2 starts to the New York Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Troy Murray moves out of the face-off circle. Ed Olczyk will take the draw against Nemchinov. From the face-off, Olczyk drove it towards the net just wide. Marois keeps it in. Now it's knocked away by Leetch. Newmanen gets it. And he brings it in offside. 9:14 remains in the period. 2-1. The Rangers lead the Jets. On our first telecast of the new year, we'll see the Oilers at the Flames on Saturday from the Saddle Dome. And that will be followed by the Hawks at the Leafs in Southern Ontario. Actually, it's not a doubleheader Saturday night. Southern Ontario viewers will see the game from Maple Leaf Gardens, while the Oilers and the Flames will be seen on Hockey Night in Canada on the remainder of the CBC network. Back of the net, Murray trying to free it. It goes to Olczyk, around the boards for Murray, back to Olczyk. Shannon in there as well. Nemchinov steals it away from him. With some help from Leetch, they bang it out to center ice. Koser circles in his own zone. He hasn't had many shifts in tonight's hockey game.
Out there with Nemchinov, and he's opposite Sean Cronin. They had a little run in the first period, and I thought something might happen.
Here's Troy Murray. Backhand shot that's gloved by Vanbiesbrouck, and he holds it for a face-off with 8:32 remaining in the second period.
Joey Koser came over from the Detroit Red Wings and then was suspended and injured and really didn't have the kind of impact last year that the Rangers were hoping. but he's played well this year and is always one of those scary, physical, dangerous threat types. When he does drop the gloves, he's one of the guys that can hurt you in the league.
Well, the first sellout of the season at the Winnipeg Arena with a lot of noise here as they were presented with horns and noisemakers to celebrate New Year's Eve as they entered the building. Graves threw it across ice, intercepted by Barnes. Graves recovered to check him. It slipped down the ice, and Essenza leaves it there for Teppo Numminen. Numminen was looking for MacDermid, too far for him. This will be an icing call as Djoos goes back to touch it.
Per Djoos was a throw-in in that Joey Kocur trade, and he's really played well this year for the New York Rangers. He's a good offensive player, but again, he doesn't have that physical presence in front of the net that the Rangers needed, so they picked up Jeff Bukaboom.
Bukaboom is serving Game 3 of a 4-game suspension. He drew the suspension as the result of an incident in a game with the San Jose Sharks and Perry Berezan.
And they appealed so that Bukaboom could play Patrick Division rivals, and he's just starting in his suspension. He's 2 games left.
Numminen along the boards for Barnes. Barnes trying to get it out of there. He can't. In front of the net, Graves is checked. Numminen starts away from MacDermid. MacDermid sliding it through to Numminen. Saved by Vanbiesbrouck. Graves did a fine job of getting back to partially tie up Numminen as he went after the puck. Leetch with a long shot, knocked down in front, fired out. Patrick goes back after it. 7:30 remaining in the second period. It's a 2-1 New York lead over the Winnipeg Jets. MacDermid has his rink-wide pass intercepted by Amonte, trying to get away from Barnes. Now Patrick at center ice. Leaves it there for Leetch. Osborne frees it for Barnes. Barnes throws a pass to the wing, intercepted. Back comes Gartner, but it's a 2-line pass. 7:01, the time remaining in the second period. The Rangers clinging to a 1-goal lead. Well, this hockey game is being televised on the Madison Square Garden Network. Sam Rosen on the left, John Davidson on the right. John Davidson, the former Ranger goaltender, and he is the last Ranger goaltender to shut out the Winnipeg Jets January 12th, 1980 by a score of 3-0.
John Davidson and I played in a World Championship together way back when. I won't say what year that was.
Ogrodnick flips it out. Randy Carlyle shoots it back in. Patrick goes to the corner. Out to center ice. Evans leaves it there for Carlyle. He bangs it back in.
The Rangers' defensive zone coverage is so good that the defensemen have to jump up into the play and create some chances. And we saw Teppo Numminen on that last shift get a good scoring chance just because he jumped up into the play.
Housley jumps into the play for the Jets. Housley takes a look. Over to Carlyle. Carlyle with a long shot. Knocked down by Vanbiesbrouck. Evans in front of the goal setting up a screen, and Vanbiesbrouck covers up on the rebound.
And John Vanbiesbrouck didn't see that shot but still made the save because he was standing in the right position.
The Winnipeg Jets have retired just one sweater, and that belonged to Bobby Hull during his glorious days in the World Hockey Association with the Winnipeg Jets. And what a unit. Hull formed with 2 Winnipeg Jets who went on to become members of the New York Rangers, Ulf Nielsen and Anders Hedberg. Do you think that would be an exciting line today in the NHL?
Well, I used to really love playing against that line, especially when they had the power play and Bobby would tee it up with the unlimited curved stick from about 10 feet out.
Randy Moller along the boards. It's redirected out to center. John Cronin fires it back in. Djoos plays it ahead to Turcotte. Working against Olausson. He flips it to the corner. Essenza plays it around the boards. Hartman takes a hit from King, who comes up with the puck. Out front for Turcotte. Saved by Essenza. As Broten behind the net freed it and got it out front.
And another big save at a crucial time by Bob Essenza. Squared it, stayed on his feet. Made it look easy.
Those airplanes on his helmet and mask have nothing to do with the fact he plays for the Winnipeg Jets.
Here's the save. Now watch Essenza get square, turns the body, closes the legs, is able to control the rebound.
Greg Harrison, the mask designer, was staging a bit of a protest by designing this mask on the back. In the old Diefenbaker regime, the Avro Aero program was canceled. Greg Harrison's father worked on that Avro Aero program, and it was canceled with just 6 coming off the assembly line. The number on the back of his helmet would have been the 7th had the program been continued. It's a bit of a protest by the mask maker.
Most of those that worked on that design ended up working for NASA.
Essenza with a save off Turcotte. As the Rangers, with their forechecking, create another scoring opportunity.
Good forechecking by the Rangers, and they create a chance. And watch Turcotte right there. Randy Carlisle's there, but Turcotte still got the shot away, and Essenza again square, facing the play and making the save.
Turcotte had 2 goals and an assist in the loss the other night to the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Had a penalty shot, had Wendell Young beaten on the play and shot it up and over the net. Turcotte's one of those players that really streaky. Gets his confidence going and he thinks everything he shoots is going to go in. And it does.
Olausson circling in his own zone. Banks it off the boards and out. Cirella's pass intercepted by Cronin. Too far for Elynuik on the right side. Cirella back after it. Andy Gilhen overskates it at center. Elynuik starts back. Elynuik takes a return pass. Couldn't get a shot away. Checked by Cirella. Gilhen slides it in the right side to Nemchinov. Nemchinov in front for Gilhen. Saved by Essenza. Back comes Doug Evans for the Jets.
Essenza stopped Gilhen twice. Gilhen got his own rebound. Essenza was down but still made the save.
Leetch shoots it in with 4:23 remaining in the second. 2-1. The Rangers lead the Jets. Olchek at center ice takes a hit as he dumps it down the ice. Back after it is Patrick. Osborne on him quickly. It's thrown up along the boards out to the neutral area. Dumped into Ranger territory. Moller is back after it. Watched by Olchek. Long lead pass for Graves. Graves flips it ahead. Broken up by Numminen, who turns it around to Osborne. Osborne can't go anywhere with it. Graves tries again. He and Amonte come in across the line, but the speedy Amonte is offside with 3:50 left in the second. The Rangers in front by 1. During our second intermission, Harry Neal and John Garrett will join Ron McLean and Dick Irvin reviewing the past year in hockey. And they'll also be reviewing the year in our second game, the second half of our doubleheader. And that will feature the Montreal Canadiens at the Calgary Flames immediately following this game.
Troy Murray logging lots of ice time without Thomas Steen in the lineup. Troy Murray double shifting and getting lots of work.
Randy Moller. Rink-wide pass for Messier. He couldn't handle it, and it deflected into the Winnipeg Jet bench.
John Paddock has tried to get Troy Murray out against Mark Messier, and it's hard to do because Messier plays such long shifts. It's hard to have just one centerman checking him. Roger Nielsen talked about how Mark Messier can pick his game up at certain times, and we saw on the second goal, all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, there was Mark Messier. And there's Troy Murray. He's getting a rest. Look at him. trying to get as much oxygen as he can, trying to follow around Mark Messier all night.
Housley. Rink wide pass for Hartman. He banks it off the boards. Randy Moller will get back there ahead of Eagles. He plays it to center. Amonte trying to get away from Hartman. Now Amonte goes rink wide with it. Graves working against Housley. Messier comes in to help out. Eagles is on him. Messier still gets a stick on it for Graves. Back to Patrick. His shot. Steered to the corner. Messier had gone to the front of the net, but he was knocked down by Eagles. Eagles did a good job of staying with Messier. Graves frees it for Waite. Waite shot blocked by Carlisle. Danton Cole gets it to the line and out, and then takes a good hit along the boards. And then Eagles steps into the New York player directly in front of the bench. He collided with Graves, and that draws a crowd as the whistle goes.
I don't think anything's going to come of this. Eagles doing what he does best, using the body. Look at Adam Graves, signed as a free agent by the New York Rangers, touted as the young Mark Messier at the Edmonton Oilers. Right in front of the Ranger bench. Now watch, here comes Mike Eagles, gets ready, but Adam Graves saw him coming. I don't know whether Eagles or Graves got the worst of that hit.
Graves at the last moment, I believe, saw Eagles coming his way, and he braced himself along the boards, readying for the impact. .239 is the time left in the second period. Go-ahead goal by Joe Cirella with Messier and Graves drawing assists. .22-20, the shots on goal favoring the Rangers. In the second period, the Rangers have taken away most of the good scoring opportunities for the Jets. Ogrodnick tried to throw it out front. It went up high. Elynuik dumps it out of the zone. Djoos will shoot it back in.
The Rangers really wanted to get back to a defensive style. Those two losses, they said, were wide open affairs, and they wanted to get back to the good tight checking system.
Borsato picks up the loose puck. On the right side for Elynuik. He threw it back into the middle, and it's intercepted by Djoos. For Leetch. Ahead to Gartner. Gartner plays it to himself off the boards. Now in for Waite. The puck loose in the corner, and it's dumped down the ice by Borsato. Olausson breaks up the play. Lead pass for Olczyk, racing after it. And getting back just in time was Chris King to tip it behind the net. Turcotte starts away with Patrick. He shoots it in. You can hear Ed Olczyk up here yelling for Freddie Olausson for that lead pass. And it was just a little too far ahead for him. Now it's moving into the slot area, tried to leave it there for Osborne. It bounced away from him. Olausson goes back after it.
When the defenseman lead the rush like Olausson did there, you're taking the chance that you might give up a 2-on-1, and the Jets almost did.
Olczyk, quick shot, steered to the corner by Vanbiesbrouck. Olczyk gets it again, tried to move out front. Now Osborne goes to the corner. Penalty coming up against New York. Randy Carlisle, rink wide to Phil Housley. Housley circles in his own zone. The Jets with the extra attacker out there. Rink wide for Carlisle. He winds up. Fired wide. Eagles taken in against the boards. Eagles still controlling it. The Jets with the extra forward. Olczyk couldn't get a shot away as it was blocked by Cirella with 30.8 seconds remaining. And now Housley gets his stick up with Chris King. King went down and tried to get back at Housley, and now it's center ice. Pushing and shoving, and Carlisle and Broten have an exchange. There had been a delayed penalty call by the New York Rangers, and the Jets controlled the puck for about 25 seconds with the extra player out of there, and Bob Essens on the bench.
Chris King was was trying to draw a penalty to equalize things, realizing his team was going to be short-handed.
Randy Moller is going to the penalty box. That was the initial call by referee McCreary.
And you see now the Rangers are pleading their case, trying to get Phil Housley off the ice.
McCreary warning Broten of the Rangers that he had better not persist in his argument or he might give him misconduct. And now maybe he has decided to give Broten a misconduct because he is headed off to the Ranger penalty box.
Randy Moller was getting the 2 for hooking. That was the original penalty.
The Jets had the extra attacker out there for about 25 seconds after the call initially against Randy Moller.
Here's the original call. Watch Randy Moller right there. And you see Ed Olczyk did a good job tying up Muller's stick going down. Look at Randy Moller. He didn't like the call.
So McCreary issued a misconduct and a game misconduct to Paul Broten and a 10-minute misconduct to Mike Eagles. You could hear McCreary warning Broten not to continue with his argument or he would give him a game misconduct, and Broten persisted and wound up getting thrown.
And Mark Hardy, you have to remember Mark Hardy is gone for the game with a suspected separated shoulder, and now Paul Broten is gone.
30.8 seconds remaining in the period. The Jets with the power play. Murray will face off against Messier. Olczyk and Elynuik up front. Murray wins the draw to Olausson. Long shot right on. Vanbiesbrouck plays it out to center ice. Now Housley leaves it for Olausson. Olausson for Olczyk. Olczyk had problems as he came in across the line. It's fed ahead to Messier. Messier takes it back out to center ice with 7 seconds remaining in the period. And Messier quite content to kill off the final seconds as he gives it to Cirella, and he bangs it the length of the ice.
The way the New York Rangers play defensively, and the main reason they play such a good defensive system is their head coach Roger Nielsen. Famous for that. Every team he's coached, you have to score on your power play, and the Jets here are having a little trouble getting their power play organized. And I'm sure John Paddock will have some words of advice for his team in the second intermission, and try and get the power play going at the start of the third. And it's always good to have your power play at the start of a period because the ice is better and you can make your passes crisper.
Bill McCreary, the referee, issuing misconducts late in the period to Eagles and Paul Broten, and giving Broten an additional game misconduct. Right now, let's join Scott Oak.
Don, Ed Olczyk is the Jets' leading goal scorer with 19, and I would think fancies number 20 in the third period of this game to get the Jets back on even terms. Ed, you've been scoring at a pretty good clip, but you've been quoted as saying that this team could use a sniper. Are you still of that opinion?
Well, I mean, when that came out, we were struggling, and I was asked the question, well, we feel we need to contend for a championship, and our defensemen have been getting a lot of grief in the media and the papers that we need another defenseman. I tried taking some of the pressure off the defensemen, and you know, all we can do is worry about what I can do and try to help this team win.
Loath as you would be to blame all the Jets' problems of late on goaltending, it does appear to the average observer that this team is more confident with Bob Essensa in goal.
Well, I think it's just mind over matter. All the goalies have played well for us. Just happened that Bobby got hurt there. Stefan Beauregard got put in a tough position, and
you know, when you win as a team. When you lose as a team. So you can't blame anybody except yourself and the team when you lose.
Ed, this game aside, regardless of the outcome of it, I would think that you're looking to 1992 for a fresh start, the team as a whole.
Well, we've kind of been streaky. We played really well for about 13, 14 games where we played really well, and then now the last 10 or 11 we struggled. But got to take the highs with the lows and see what can happen.
Ed, thanks for your time.
Scott.
Coming up on Inside Hockey, we'll review the hockey events of the year that's only hours away from ending. The score at the end of 2 periods here at the Winnipeg Arena is the Rangers 2, the Jets 1. Live on CBC, this is Molson Hockey Night in Canada.
The New York Rangers took a 1-0 first period lead. Randy Gilhen scoring his first as a Ranger, 4th of the season from Cirella Nemchinov at 13:40. The Rangers with a 13-12 edge in shots on goal. In the second period, the Jets tied it at 1:15. Had Elynuik with his 9th from Housley and Borsato. Now they gave the go-ahead goal to Cirella at 7:09. But I think it will be changed because Mark Messier's shot, as he broke in on the right side, beats goaltender Bob Essenza. It seems to hit the center post and come right out. Messier raised his stick in celebration, as did Amonte. And following up on the play, Joe Cirella put it into the empty net. But Messier will be credited with the goal, and that will be his 17th of the year. The Jets start the third period on the power play. Housley works in across the line, plays it back to the point, but Olausson wasn't in position.
The Rangers challenging Phil Housley right away. They know he's the key to the Jets' power play.
Dump to the corner for Troy Murray. He whipped it around the other side. Weak backhand shot, knocked down in front of the net and fired the length of the ice by Cirella. 54 seconds remaining in the man advantage. Olausson gives it to Housley. Housley at the line, trying to set things up for Olausson. To Olczyk, back to Olausson. Olausson winds up, save the rebound. Dumped to the corner by Messier. Murray tried to throw it out front, and it's gloved and held by Vanbiesbrouck.
That shot by Freddie Olausson hit Brian Leetch in the ankle, and he's limping. We were told that Thomas Steen has had a soft cast placed on his ankle, so you have to wonder when his return will be.
Well, Olausson is recognized as having one of the harder shots in the NHL. He got Thomas Steen on the 21st of the month in a game against Calgary, and this shot hits, as you said, Leetch on the ankle. He almost went down right there.
And he has gone to the Ranger bench and is being attended to by the trainer.
Numminen tried to go back to the point. Shannon plays it along the boards. Centering attempt is blocked. Comes back to the point to Housley. Housley fires it to the corner. Numminen keeps it in. Borsato around to the other side to Pat Elynuik. To the point to Housley. Back to Elynuik. Elynuik lets the shot go just wide. Back of the net, Shannon trying to move it. Borsato is tied up. Messier gets it as the Rangers are back at full strength. Lead pass for Graves. It's offside. 18:22 remaining in the third period. The Rangers leading 2-1. Tonight's game is coming to you from the arena in Winnipeg. Immediately following this game, we'll be switching to the Saddledome in Calgary as the Flames entertain the Montreal Canadiens. The Canadiens with the best overall record in the NHL, 26 wins, 13 losses, and 2 ties for 54 points. Mario Marois for Numminen. Osborne along the boards, tied up by Patrick. Now the puck comes loose to Djoos. He gives it to Gartner. Gartner with a head of steam as he hits the Jet line, knocked off the puck by Osborne. Banked off the boards, Osborne and MacDermid. The two of them in across the line. Drop pass for Barnes. He's checked, and Turcotte shoots at the center.
Again, the Rangers stand up at the blue line and force the play. Barnes had nowhere to go.
Osborne knocked down King. King is slow in getting up. No whistle on the play. King is heading off to the New York bench as it's fired into the Ranger zone. Picked up now by Gilhen. He leads a 3-on-2. Gartner into the slot area for Nemchinov. Back to Gilhen. Gilhen flips it around to the other side. Gartner and Barnes bump. Cirella keeps it in. Gilhen back to the net. A wrap-around attempt by Nemchinov. Saved by Essenza. And there's a penalty coming up against the Winnipeg Jets. So the Rangers will have a power play with 17:08 remaining in the third as Mark Osborne, a former Ranger, heads to the penalty box.
Good save by Bob Essenza on the wraparound try as the Rangers had some good pressure. Here's the wrap try, and look at Bob Essenza. Stick right along the ice, takes away the bottom. And there's Osborne getting the tripping penalty. Here's earlier on Chris King, and Osborne has the hand up, but King goes down like he'd really taken an elbow. He's trying to draw the penalty, but Bill McCreary was right there and didn't make the call.
Well, Chris King is much relieved that his brother is on his way back after the bone marrow transplant, and he said his brother would be looking in today from hospital in Toronto and asked us to say hello to Tony and wish you all the best in your recovery. Olausson can't get it out. Leetch at the point. Cross eyes to Djoos. For Messier. Back to Leetch. Leetch lets the shot go. Essenza out of the net to make the save. It goes to the corner. Messier back of the goal. To the point. Leetch winds up. Saved by Essenza. And he covers the rebound.
John Ogrodnick was in front trying to create some traffic, and he did that. A good play by Messier to get the puck back to Leetch. But again, Bob Essenza there to make the save.
Coming into this game, Leetch was the leading point getter for the New York Rangers. The defenseman with the Jets, Phil Housley, the leading point getter here.
Watch Mark Messier's stick right there catches Fred Olausson in the face, but no call made by referee Bill McCreary. Here's the shot from Leetch, and look at Ogrodnick's there trying to get the rebound, but Essenza had the angle cut down well.
Patrick keeps it in. Leetch races after it. It's knocked to the corner. Now back to the net. Gartner frees it for Messier. To Patrick, he one-times it, and another save by Essenza with Gartner standing there.
That's the Rangers' power play. They line up in front of the net, feed the point men, and then go for the tip-in. Tony Amonte tipped that one, but Bob Essenza played the tip-in. Watch Amonte right there, out of the air, tip it down, and Bob Essenza reacts, makes a save, and covers up the rebound. Look at where Mike Gartner is, right there. Had Amonte missed it, Gartner was in position to tip it.
Amonte having a fine rookie season for the Rangers. Gartner always takes up a position in front of the net. He has scored 11 power play goals this season. Leetch for Messier. He's checked by Numanen, who gets it ahead for Evans, and he fires it down the ice. They have now officially corrected the Rangers' second goal and given it to Messier, with Graves and Vanbiesbrouck drawing the assists. The Jets steal it. Here's a 2-on-1. Shannon in across the line. Leetch managed to get back into the play and prevent Evans from having a clear path to the net. Leetch is checked. Cole flips it down the ice with 12 seconds left in the penalty.
And now the Jets are doing just what the Rangers did, standing up at the blue line, forcing the Rangers into turnovers.
Cirella goes back into his own zone. Winnipeg at full strength as Osborne comes out of the box. Turcotte fakes the shot. Couldn't go around Housley. And then slides right into the goal into Bob Essenza. The two of them get tangled up as the Jets start back. Cole falls. Flipped it to an open wing. Fired out by Djoos. A race for the puck. Essens way out of his net to play it off the glass to center ice. Winnipeg starts back. Cole coming in with Borsato. Drop pass. Borsato blocked in front of the net by Djoos. And Djoos fires it down the ice.
With the injury to Mark Hardy, Djoos is getting a lot more ice time and is playing very well. Good play on the 3-on-2.
14:26 remaining in the third. The Rangers lead by 1.
The Jets with a little transition game. Bob Essens starts the play. Now it's a 3-on-2 clean. And here comes the pass back to Borsato. And watch Djoos. Plays it well, goes down at the last minute, and makes the block.
Borsato with Olchek and Elynuik for the Jets. Numanen and Marois back in the blue line. Moller is checked. Cirella banks it up along the boards, and it comes out to center. Chopped back in by Numanen. The Rangers fire it down the ice. And as Marois touches it, this is an icing call against New York. 14:05 remains in the third period. 2-1. The Rangers lead the Jets.
Mike Gardner's stats would definitely merit a Hall of Fame induction. Consistent player and comes to play every night. I think that's his teammates admire most in Mike Gardner. He never takes a night off. Every game he gives exactly the same effort.
Among active players, only Wayne Gretzky has scored more goals than Mike Gardner. His big year, 50 goals in the 84-85 season. Long shot, steered to the corner by Vanbiesbrouck. Osborne keeps it in. Rink-wide pass, broken up by Graves for Messier. He and Amonte come in across the line. Drop pass that Osborne got back to take away from Amonte. Cirella keeps it in at the line. Long shot, knocked down. He gets it again. Fans on it. Takes another swipe at it. Graves has it. Graves is checked by Marois. Gets it again. At the line, Messier with a shot. He scores as that bounced in off Marois or Graves. As Messier shot from the line wide of the net, and it deflected past goaltender Bob Essens.
Now watch, Messier is looking for the deflection. He doesn't care if he hits Graves or Marois, but he's looking for the deflection. Now watch Messier look. He's looking. He sees Graves, aims it that way. Bank shot into the side pocket. Marois and Essens were complaining, saying that Graves turned his foot and directed that puck into the net. And the way goals have been coming for Adam Graves, he'll take it any way he can.
All right, now I think they are reviewing this one with the replay official to determine whether or not it was kicked into the net. Wayne Forsey and Perry Allen are the video goal judges.
Here's the shot from Messier. Now you be the judge. Does it hit Mario Marois or does it hit Adam Graves?
Shot's 10, 15 feet wide. You're not even expecting it.
It appears to go off the skate of Mario Marois.
Marois pretty hard to tell. Now here it is. It looks like it went off Mario Marois' foot. You see Adam Graves' foot is in behind Marois'.
Well, the goal is being reviewed. Messier's go-ahead goal was reviewed on videotape.
Whoever shot it from the point,
They're going to give it to Mark Messier and saying whoever shot it from the point gets the goal, and now Messier gets it back as it hit Mario Marois and went in.
So that's Messier's second of the night, and both have required review to determine that he scored. Well, the Jets had opportunities to get it out of the zone. and that's what appears to have John Paddock upset. They tried 3 times, they had control, but couldn't clear.
You never see the Montreal Canadiens throw that pass up the middle. The Winnipeg Jets do it quite often. The Montreal Canadiens, it's always off the glass and out. They never take a chance defensively, and that's why they are one of the best defensive teams in the NHL.
So Winnipeg trails by 2. Murray for Hartman. Hartman takes a shot. It's blocked, kept in by Carlisle. For Murray, in front for Hartman. He was tied up, tried to get it again, and it bounced away and dumped down the ice by Djoos. Loose puck at the side of the net, out front for King. He fires it wide. Djoos takes a hit from Hartman as he kept it in. Hartman gets it, goes rink wide for MacDermid to Housley. Back to MacDermid. He drops it for Housley, who flips it in back of the goal. Troy Murray fighting with Djoos, trying to get it free. MacDermid is there as well. MacDermid trying to move. Having problems with Cirella. Murray comes in to help out. Murray bumped again by Cirella, taken down by the Ranger defenseman. Now Turcotte comes up with it. He starts away for New York. 12:15 left in the period. A long shot wide of the Winnipeg net.
New York Rangers, because of Roger Nielsen's style, are one of the hardest teams to play catch-up against, and especially their goaltending is so good. Vanbiesbrouck hasn't been tested that much tonight, but has played well when he's had to.
12:02 is the time remaining in the third. The Rangers in front by 2. The Pittsburgh Penguins, who were a point back of the New York Rangers, the second-place team in the Patrick Division, trailing 5-3 to the New Jersey Devils. Laurie Boschman has just scored. Scott Stevens has a pair of goals in that game for New Jersey. Patrick plays it ahead to Nemchinov. It's deflected into Winnipeg territory. Back after it goes Cronin. Rink-wide pass for Evans to Olausson. Olausson moves it ahead for Borsato. Out front for Elynuik. He scores!
Fred Olausson leads this Russian, leads Borsato to the corner. And watch Pat Elynuik go to the open. And there he is. Nemchinov missed his assignment. There's no blue sweaters around. Look at this pass. Borsato too far out for Vanbiesbrouck to get it. And there's Pat Elynuik. This one he didn't have to stop. He just steered it in.
Pat Elynuik with his second goal of the game, 10th of the season. And again, it's a 1-goal game with 11:38 remaining. And this crowd, it was a little quiet in the third period after the Rangers took a 3-2 lead. Now back, here's Olczyk moving in. Saved by Vanbiesbrouck. Big stop by the Ranger goaltender on Ed Olczyk.
Talk about timely saves and big save goaltender. John Vanbiesbrouck comes up with one here. Olczyk gets in behind the defense, tries to go high glove side, but look at where Vanbiesbrouck is. He's well out. As the angle cut down, takes it off the shoulder.
Elynuik's 10th at 8:22 from Olausson and Evans, the official on the Winnipeg goal.
The New York Rangers are one of the few teams that can afford to have 2 high-priced goaltenders. There's Mike Richter, who held out, got a new contract from the Rangers. And John Vanbiesbrouck is one of the higher-paid goaltenders in the NHL.
Back after it goes Cirella. He ties up his man. Leetch picks it up. Leetch is checked. Out front for Olczyk, just out of his reach. Amonte. Stopped. Barnes in the corner. Comes back to the line. Marois couldn't control it. Messier circles in his own zone. For Leetch. Leetch on the right side for Graves. Graves throws it out front. And the Jets' Newmanen, in attempting to clear, puts it over the glass, out of play. Well, Ed Olczyk leads the Jets in scoring. And he runs number Hockey League. Not surprisingly, Brett Hull, who leads the league in goal, has 222 shots. Olczyk now has 157 shots.
And Olczyk almost had another great scoring chance as he couldn't quite reach that pass. And Olczyk, when he stretched out to try and get that pass, may have hurt himself. You see him trying to walk it off in the hallway. And that's what he thinks of that stick that didn't score for him when he had the breakaway.
It's always the stick.
Yes, it is. It's the stick.
Housley to Osborne. Long shot. Osborne after the rebound. Round the boards for MacDermid. In front. Housley redirected it wide. Gartner starts back. Gartner trying to work through. He's knocked down. Carlisle comes back for Winnipeg. Pass for Housley. Deflected into the New York zone. Leetch plays it around the boards and then takes a hit from MacDermid as the puck comes back into Winnipeg territory. Carlisle with King on top of him. Throws it rink wide now for Housley. He couldn't control it. Leetch goes back after it. 9:52 remaining in the period. Here comes King. He winds up. Essenza just got a piece of it. Elynuik and King battle in the corner. And the puck appears to be underneath them. Now it's freed. Finally Nemchinov gets it loose. Housley poked it ahead for Borsato. He couldn't go anywhere with it. Housley with a spin around move in the corner. Working his way to the line. 9:20 left. Over to Nemchinov. He drives it in. Along the boards, the Rangers' Djoos whips it around to the other side. Nemchinov racing in from the point, keeps it in. Elynuik tried to free it for Borsato. It was picked off by the Rangers, but Nemchinov is forced to circle back. He goes rink wide to Koser. Dumped to the corner, wide of the net. Gilhen goes back after it, tried to throw it out front, blocked by Cronin. Cronin starts away for the Jets, to Cole, to Evans. Evans fires it into the corner, back after it goes Cirella. 8:40 left in the third. Olausson pinches in along with Hartman. They keep it in the Ranger zone. Now the Rangers clear. Messier feeds it ahead for Amonte. Amonte driving for the net. Essenza was down and the puck went wide.
Essenza got a piece of that one. What a save by Bob Essenza as Amonte showed his speed going right around Sean Cronin.
Back comes Patrick. Ahead to Graves. Graves lost control of it. Olczyk starts back for Winnipeg. Olczyk over to Hartman. A shot saved by Vanbiesbrouck. Now Graves goes the other way. Graves tried to drop it off for Amonte. It's picked off by Olczyk. Olczyk into the slot. He's knocked down. Leetch moves the puck ahead to Messier. Rink-wide pass for Amonte. Amonte gets it back to Leetch. Leetch working against Olausson. And Essenza came out to challenge. Leetch lost control of the puck. Back comes Murray with Nemchinov. Nemchinov winds up. Glove save by Vanbiesbrouck. Great action after the second Winnipeg goal. 7:27 remaining. The Rangers lead 3-2.
As a goaltender, you try and make the forward make the first move. Watch Amonte go wide, but Essenza gets the feet up to make the save. And then Leetch comes in, goes around Fredrik Olausson. Now watch Olausson gets the rope out and tries to lasso Leetch. Good poke check. And Olausson did all that without getting a penalty.
7:27 remaining. 3-2 the score. The Rangers leading the Jets. Jets have outshot New York 30-29. Mark Messier with 2 goals. Pat Elynuik with both Winnipeg goals. Back to the line. Nemchinov moving in. A shot just wide. King fires it down the ice. If Nemchinov gets there first, it'll be an icing call. It is.
Troy Murray won that face-off cleanly against Darren Turcotte, right back to Teppo Numminen. And Roger Nielsen's going to change his troops and get a different centerman out. The crowd reacts to the announcement that the Winnipeg Jets have their first sellout of the year. Now, does he look excited? About as excited as John Paddock at the other bench?
Neither coach shows a great deal of emotion during the course of the game. This is the longest that Roger Nielsen has been employed by a National Hockey League team. And of course, for John Paddock, this is his first year behind the National Hockey League bench. Roger Nielsen, previously a head coach in Toronto, Buffalo, Vancouver, and Los Angeles.
I played for Roger in junior and then in Vancouver. In his coaching stint in Vancouver, he says, I'm the one that got him fired from Vancouver, but I couldn't be responsible for all those other stuff.
It's always the goaltender, isn't it?
That's right.
Numminen plays it to the line, picked up by Troy Murray. He shoots it in. Kocur, back of the net. He finds some skating room as he comes to center. Working in, Kocur finally is checked as Osborne plays it back to Numminen. For Olausson, his pass is blocked by Nemchinov. He loses it again to Olausson. On the right side to Troy Murray. Drop pass to Osborne. Osborne in the slot. Tried to leave it there for MacDermid. Was checked, and the Rangers bring it to center. Djoos in across the line with Messier. Djoos winds up. His shot deflects off a stick up into the crowd. 6:26 is the time remaining in a one-goal game with the Rangers in front. Immediately after this game, we will, of course, be going to the Saddle Dome in Calgary, where the Flames and Canadians are getting set. Patrick Waugh, the #1 goaltender in the National Hockey League. He beat Edmonton 3-1 the other night, and he'd like to come up with another victory to wind up the year at the Saddle Dome.
We've seen some pretty good goaltending here tonight, but the defensive play of both these teams has been a little lacking.
Leetch with a long shot. That deflects off the glass. Randy Carlyle in the corner. Moves it ahead. Evans for Elynuik. Elynuik for Borsato. Borsato, a backhand shot at the side of the net. And it's picked up by the Rangers and dumped out. Housley forced back into his own zone. Plays it ahead to Evans, who leaves it for Carlyle. His rink-wide pass broken up. Messier can't go anywhere with it. Housley gets control. Housley off the boards for Elynuik. Elynuik working in against Leetch. Messier back to help out. Puck comes to the line. Housley tried to flip it to the corner. It was knocked down and out by the Rangers. Messier can't get around Numminen. And there's a whistle on the play, a delayed offside call.
Teppo Numminen did a good job standing up at the blue line and forcing Mark Messier to make that little extra move. Put his mates offside. Tony Amonte is one of the young New York Rangers, and you look at the age on this Ranger team, and their future is really now. Now watch Evans on Brian Leetch. A good solid hit, shoulder down, elbow down, stick down, good hit by Evans.
Well, at the conclusion of the game, before we go off to Calgary for the second half of our doubleheader, the Molson Cup 3-star selection. Numminen for Olchek. His shoot in is blocked by Cirella. Gartner flips it back behind the Winnipeg net, where Numminen has it for the Jets. Troy Murray tried to bank it off the boards and almost hit Coach John Paddock with 5:03 remaining in the third period. On this New Year's Eve, this is the first half of a Hockey Night in Canada doubleheader from the arena in Winnipeg. The Rangers leading the Jets 3-2 with 5:03 remaining. I'm Don Whitman along with John Garrett and Scott Oak. And immediately after this game, we'll shift to the Saddle Dome. Here's Hartman. His shot is blocked by Cirella. It goes to the corner. Cole kicks it to Eagles. Cole with a shot. Saved by Vanbiesbrouck. Numanen keeping it in at the point. Throws it in front. Gets it again. Numanen moving in front. Trying to get a shot. Back to Cole. His long shot. Wide of the net. Randy Gilhen flips it to the corner. Back after it goes Eagles. Koser's on him. He leaves it there for Olausson. Olausson for the Jets. Shoots it to the corner. Racing in after it is Hartman. Hartman bangs it around to the other side. Djoos has it for New York. He plays it up along the boards. Carlisle pinching in with help from Borsato. They keep it in the zone. Now Cole trying to move out front. The puck loose at the side of the net. Messier flips it around the boards and out.
Pretty good coverage again by Per Djoos in the defensive zone as he stopped Danton Cole from coming out in front of John Vanbiesbrouck.
Messier, watched by Elynuik. He knocks it down. Amonte at the point, trying to get out against Borsato. Now Djoos in the corner. He throws it at the side of the net. He was trying to play it around the boards, and he threw it right to the side of the net. And Vanbiesbrouck very quickly had to cover up.
Turned out to be not a bad play as the Rangers were in trouble. Good forechecking by the Jets. And Vanbiesbrouck was able to get the whistle.
Vanbiesbrouck has had a solid game. And the Rangers say, as we see Djoos trying to throw it around the boards, almost put it in his own net. But they say Vanbiesbrouck is at his best when he doesn't move around much in the net.
When he's such a competitor, and that's his big strength, is that he never gives up on the puck, and he's an unorthodox style, and yet he gets the job done. The Rangers haven't lost 3 games in a row since early in October, and they've only done that once. It was October 11th that they started a 3-game skid. This would have been their 3rd straight loss. They played pretty well defensively, and now John Vanbiesbrouck is earning his money here late in the 3rd period.
Face off to the right of Vanbiesbrouck. Remember, as soon as this game is decided, we'll be going to the Saddle Dome in Calgary, the second half of our New Year's Eve Hockey Night in Canada doubleheader. Elynuik with a shot. That goes off the glass and ricochets back into the Winnipeg zone. Carlisle to Housley. Rink wide pass for Borsato. Borsato is knocked down. Checked at the line. King couldn't go anywhere with it. Borsato loses it. Here comes Gartner. He winds up. Saved by Essenza. Elynuik picks it up for the Jets. Numanen, rink wide pass for Evans. He's checked. Gartner gets it again up front. For Turcotte, it went off a stick and over the net. Gartner trying to center it. Turcotte was out in front of the net. Now it comes back to Moller. A shot through traffic. Deflects to the corner. 2:45 remaining in the game. Evans for Winnipeg. Long shot wide of the net. Murray bangs it to the corner. Cirella gets there ahead of MacDermid. He plays it around the boards for Koser. Koser has his shoot-in block. Here comes Murray back for Winnipeg. Long shot. Steered to the corner by Vanbiesbrouck. The Rangers try and get it out, but Koser puts it over the glass and out of play with 2:20 remaining in the 3rd. For the Hockey Night in Canada update, here's Scott.
Don, the Flames and Canadians are underway in Calgary, and the Flames have opened the scoring early. Paul Ranheim confused the issue in front of Patrick Roy and scored, and so the Flames lead 1-0. Canadians have won 4 in a row. Roy had allowed only 11 goals in 7 previous games, but the Flames have the jump tonight.
And we'll be going there right after this one comes to an end. We're 2:20 away from determining a winner. The Rangers leading 3-2.
And again, a pressure situation. Roger Nielsen using Mark Messier to take the draw in the defensive zone.
Puck loose. Olchek trying to free it for a shot. He was checked by Leetch. Now Murray in the corner. Looks out front for Olchek. He redirected it. The puck is loose. as it was knocked out of the glove of Vanbiesbrouck by MacDermid, and now MacDermid is involved in a scrap back of the net with Cirella, I believe. Olczyk redirected that centering pass by Murray, and MacDermid poked at goaltender Vanbiesbrouck, trying to knock the puck away from him. Cirella came to his defense.
Vanbiesbrouck looked around. He didn't know where it was. It was caught up underneath his arm. And MacDermid tried to poke it free. It did come free, but after the whistle had gone.
Cirella, MacDermid 5 minutes each for fighting. Both teams find them to go 54 right up.
2:05 remaining in the game. Watch Murray throw it out front as Olczyk goes to the net.
And look at Vanbiesbrouck's reaction. He doesn't know where it is. And there, in comes Messier, gives him a shot. In comes Cirella. And they don't want Messier to fight it this time. They need him out there. So it's Cirella and MacDermid to go at it.
2:05 is the time remaining in the third period. 3-2, the Rangers lead the Jets. Cirella and MacDermid both drawing 5-minute majors for fighting. Well, the Ranger bench now down to just 17 players. Hardy got hurt early in the game. Broten drew the game misconduct. And now Cirella is gone with the major for fighting. Puck flipped to the corner by Osborne. Messier is back after it. He leaves it there for Leetch. Leetch up into the center ice area to Nemchinov, who takes a hit from Murray. Osborne comes in to bump with Moller. They fight for it along the boards. It comes loose to Olausson. Rink wide to Housley. He takes a hit from Gilhen. His shoot-in is blocked by Olausson, but Nemchinov persists, goes back to the net, tried to get it out front. Now it comes up along the boards to Murray. Ahead for Osborne. Osborne for Olczyk. For Housley. He shoots it wide of the net. Osborne behind the goal, trying to get it loose. Checked by Djoos. And Djoos skates it out for the Rangers. Ahead to Graves. Graves working against Borsato. Graves a backhander. He scores! One hand, and Graves put it up high on Bob Essenza.
Bob Essenza thought Borsato had Graves tied up, but what strength by Adam Graves. Watch Pear Djoos feed Adam Graves. The Jets are pressing, but watch Graves. One hand on the stick. He fights off Borsato with the other hand. And look at this snap. Right up and over Bob Essenza. And he's the most surprised guy in the rink. He thought Borsato had Graves tied up. Look at this. He goes down, figures he's going to face a slider. And instead it goes up and over the goaltender. That just about does it.
Graves on the backhand, putting that one up high on Bob Essenza. But what a shot he got away with just one hand on the stick. So that goal comes at 18:51, restoring the Rangers' 2-goal advantage after the Winnipeg Jets had been pressing, trying to get the equalizer. Borsato now back to Carlisle. Off the board for Evans. Evans into the slot to Borsato. Borsato couldn't get a backhand shot away. He stays with it. King takes him down. Elynuik trying to get the puck out of there, and it's underneath the players on the ice, resulting in a whistle.
The Jets had been pressing. They played a pretty good game. Though the Rangers defensively have been strong up until the third period. Mark Messier, another strong game. He seems to love playing against the Smythe division. He had a big game in Vancouver where he had 3 goals. Here again tonight has been the dominant player.
Winnipeg.
Seems that when the Rangers lose a couple of games, it's always Mark Messier that turns it on, has a big game, and gets them out of their doldrums.
The Winnipeg Jets have called a timeout with 39.5 seconds remaining. A face-off in the Ranger zone. So John Paddock obviously has a play in mind. He knows exactly what he wants to happen as a result of this face-off. Bob Essenza has gone to the bench, and I'm quite sure Winnipeg will have the extra attacker out there.
With 39 seconds, he has to try and score immediately. I think we'll see them draw it back, go for the quick shot, just drive to the net, hope they get a tip in or a rebound.
Lessons is still on the ice. He hasn't gone to the bench. But the Jets do have 6 attackers out there, and now Essenza is going to take his seat on the bench. The face-off to the right of goaltender John Vanbiesbrouck. Troy Murray will try and win the draw. He'll be trying to get it back to the point to Olausson. He and Messier in the circle to the right of Vanbiesbrouck. Puck goes to the corner. Leetch whips it around the boards. Amonte gets it out to Graves. A long shot. He scores! Adam Graves put the icing on the cake with his second goal at the game. And the New York Rangers have a 5-2 lead.
Bob Essenza skating back into the Winnipeg net. Graves shot that puck from his own side of center. I thought he might take 1 or 2 more strides. I guess he knew what he was doing. If you can score with one hand, it's a lot easier with 2. He snapped that one from his own side of center. 1 hop and in.
That's the 7th goal of the season for Adam Graves. But it was his goal on the one-handed backhand shot that really put this one away on behalf of the New York Rangers. Hartman, a long shot wide of the net. Leetch back after it, plays it off the boards, but not out. It comes into the front of the net, and Moller clears the zone. 16 seconds remaining. Immediately after this one, we'll be going to the Saddle Dome in Calgary, where the Flames lead the Montreal Canadiens by a score of 1-0 on a goal by Robert Reichel. This will be an icing call. No, it won't be. Just 3 seconds remaining. And there it is, the final horn in a 5-2 New York Ranger victory. A strong performance by goaltender John Vanbiesbrouck. So Roger Nielsen.